Behind the brand, baby. Watch it. Tell your friends about it. Hey, I'm Grant Cardone, and you're watching Behind the Brand with Brian Elliott.
So take us back for my audience who doesn't know your origin, your humble beginnings, your troubled beginnings.
Yeah.
Talk a little bit about that. And,
well, my life has been very, very hard. And I grew up in a good family, so I don't have anybody to blame. Nothing bad happened to me. I lost my dad when I was 10. And that really, that impinged, really messed, kind of threw me off. And so I was a good kid. 8 years old, my mom thought I was a loving, caring, kid. And then by the time I was 15, 16 years old, man, something had happened. And so I lost my dad when I was 10, got introduced to drugs when I was 15. The drugs weren't really the deal. I mean, drugs would become a problem for me, but really it was the year between 10 and 15, I was just lost, every day lost, like bored. Forced into the 7th, 8th grade, 9th grade, forced into the system. It wasn't good for me. Yeah. And it's not good for a lot of people, I think,
So
but
forced into the system?
Well, I got to go to school every day. It's a system, right? I don't want to be in school. I mean, I don't think any kid wants to be in school, but it just didn't, I was probably smarter than the books I was reading. I mean, really, I'm saying that I didn't know that then, but I was just bored. Yeah. Everything went too slow for me. I was bad. I was not good in school. My grades would not show that I was smart. I wanted to do something. And it was just that from 9 o'clock in the morning until 4 o'clock in the afternoon, I was just bored. And then when I finally got out, I got in trouble all the time. So when I got introduced to drugs, I was 15 or 16 years old. And then within a year, I was using drugs every day. Started out with just, me and a couple buddies. But when I look back on it now, I'm like, there was just there was no leadership in my life. There was no mentoring. There was leadership and mentoring. It was just the wrong way. And so by the time I was 16 years old to 25, I was using drugs every single day.
And you got a brother too, right?
Yeah, twin brother.
Yeah. And so did he follow the same path?
He's pretty much involved in the same stuff. I mean, we're identical twin brothers, so we're hanging out together, and both bored, both a lot of energy, both fairly intelligent guys.
Double trouble,
bro. Who can take it further? And so I've always had a lot of energy, like most kids have energy, But lost my older brother when I was 20 years old. So I had, between 10 and 20, I had these two big losses. So both my male mentors were gone, and I kept waiting. But when my dad died, I was waiting for an uncle to show up and help me. Anybody, I would have taken anybody's help. You could have walked up and said, "I'll help you, kid." I'd be like, "Let's go." And that's kind of how I went off the wrong path. There was no good guy saying, "Hey, let me be responsible for you."
Yeah, you followed the wrong guy.
Yeah. I would have followed anything. I went to college to find a mentor. I think I went to the drug dealer because I thought he'd be my mentor. It was just a weird thing. But so
how'd you pull out of that nosedive?
Well, first I had to go to treatment. I went to treatment and got off the drugs. I needed an environment where I got off the drugs. I had to get away from the environment. The treatment center really. There's a lot of bad information at those treatment centers, but it got me out of the environment, and then it just got me around a bunch of broken people. But at least these broken people were not using drugs every day. I needed to get out of the drugs being available.
Yeah, that was step one, right?
Change the environment.
Yeah.
And it wasn't even. Admit that I was powerless, or that I had a problem. It was change the environment. I had to get out of the environment. I had to get away from the drugs. Had to get if you're addicted to sugar, you just got to take the sugar out of the house. So I made the first 3 days, I didn't even know where I was. Day 5, I'm like, what's going on? First 5 days in 10 years that I had been without drugs. And I was like, okay, maybe I can do this.
Whole new world.
Oh yeah, dude, I was like, people look at me today and say, "Oh man, he's cocky and he's this and he's that." They see the plane and da da da. Dude, nobody knows what's going on the inside of me, So that I was coming out of that deal just fragile, broken. The drugs were the least of the problems. It was my self-esteem was crashed. I had no money. I didn't believe in myself anymore. I had no confidence. I was in debt. I had lost, my reputation was damaged in the community I lived in. It was damaged with me. I was the black sheep of my family. Not even my family didn't trust me. I didn't trust me. And then so I made the 28 days and I went back. I was working in a car dealership and I went back there and turned my whole life around. That fast. No, it just, had to one day at a time just turn everything around, starting with, okay, I got to not use drugs and I got to start rebuilding my life. And part of that was just paying back the debts, the damage I had done, cleaning up my past, so that when I looked at Mike, I didn't see Mike and, I screwed him.
Right.
Or my mom and I stole money from my mom. I'm like, I had to clean all that up.
You had to right the wrongs.
I had to right all that. And a lot of guys don't do that. Like I see guys that stay broken for long periods of time, even though they cleaned up. I'm like, dude, you got to go clean that up. Not for them, for you. I had people I went back to this guy that I had worked for him, but I felt like I'd stole from him because I was doing this side hustle while I was with him. And I said, look, man, I owe you a bunch of money because you paid me and I wasn't really here. And he's like, I don't need it. His name's David. He's like, I don't need it. I said, you don't need it. I need it. I need to pay this.
Yeah.
You do whatever you want with it. I have to pay this. And he's like, no, I don't want it. I said, bro, look, I'm leaving the money here. I need to leave it here. It wasn't for him. It was for me,
Yeah.
So I could walk back there strong. And so I've just been slowly rebuilding my life. And, today I've got 17 little companies that all do pretty well. A real estate portfolio that we're building that's going to one day be something, really to be something to be proud of. And I'm trying to help people right now.